Hey, I'm Zarzilla, the eclectic clerk. And if you're a nerd like me that likes geeking out over all kinds of things, then jolly ho, you better hit that subscribe button. Today's quick pick recommendation for you that I want to share is a new up-and-coming anime that I think you're gonna love. When I'm making these recommendations, I look for four main things: strength of the storytelling, dynamic characters, overall artwork/style of the show, and how detailed the world building is. Now, here is your fair warning. Mild spoilers ahead in case you want to go into this series with fresh baby eyes. I get it. But today's quick pick is the exhilarating, exciting High Card. Now, High Card is a shonen series that just started both as a manga and as an anime, as a multimedia franchise. August of 2022 is when the first volume of the manga series came out, and Crunchyroll licensed the series and premiered it at the same time as Japan on January 9th, 2023. A second season already has been announced at Anime Japan on March 26th of 2023. It's set to premiere January 8th, 2024. But the first season is so bingeable. Oh man. Here's a synopsis of the show. The royal family of the Kingdom of Fourland holds a secret deck of 52 X-playing cards, each of which bestow a superhuman power or ability to whoever uses them. However, the cards were nearly stolen 1 month ago and then scattered across the land. In the present, a thief named Finn is struggling to raise funds for his orphanage before the landlord clears it out. After hitching a ride to a casino, Finn soon finds himself inducted into High Card, a special group tasked by the king to recover all 52 cards, while working undercover as a salesman for the Pinocchio car company. However, High Card must deal with threats from rival car company Who's Who seeking to crush Pinocchio, and the Klondike Mafia family who wants the X-playing cards for their own nefarious ends. And yes, when I look back at this synopsis now, basically this anime is just an extreme version of 52 Pickup. But it's cool, I promise, it's very cool. These special cards are the core element to the plot, and it works so well. To use the power of these mysterious cards, a player activates it by simply saying "play" followed by the power of the card, all of which have their own unique abilities and names. Now, the power levels depend on the number value of said card, with 2 being the lowest and I think ace being the highest. When the card is in play, the card magically becomes a pair of very stylish gloves, by the way, unique to the card and the player. Now, the first king of Fourland used all the cards made by a mage sorcerer person to unite the land after a bloody war, and their existence isn't really known by the public, but of course in some sketchy and very rich circles they are. Each episode, they are chasing after a different card, and each of the characters have their own reasons as to why they are a player. This is such a cool premise for a story, even though, yes, it is basically 52 Pickup. I love seeing a fresh idea out here, and it's pulled off very well, especially when your cast of characters are just so damn fun, too. The main cast who work at Pinocchio are essentially knights fighting to recover the lost cards and protect their existence in the name of the king, and they are all really good at their jobs. All of the characters are so well fleshed out with distinct personalities. They show us how they live, what drives them, but it's not shoved down our throats. In the first season, we didn't get to see everyone's backstory, for example. Like Pinocchio salesman and high card player VJ is a bit of a mystery still come end of season 1, but I think that is very intentional. High Card doesn't rush things as much as they don't over-explain things, which is really refreshing in an anime. It's satisfying to see when these characters mess up in some way. It's not in a way that makes you cringe or groan or question why they are a player. Like, none of the characters feel like they don't belong or shouldn't be a player with a card. They adapt, learn, push forward, and overcome the hiccups, even if their flaws occasionally get in the way, but it's not in an obnoxious way that makes you want to stop watching the show. Like, Pinocchio salesman Chris and mentor to Finn is a womanizer. Finn is inexperienced. Leo is young and stupid rich, so is numb to most things. Wendy is a bad drunk, and VJ is pretty normal, actually. He's aloof and can be in his own head, but it doesn't seem to affect him all that much. So far, anyway. His character is the only one we don't really know too much about yet in the main cast. The mistakes they make aren't drawn out too, which is so appreciated. They have money and power at their disposal, literally in Leo's case, which brings me to the main cast of characters since I've talked about them a lot but not about them. So let's start with Leo Constantine Pinochil. Now, Leo is the manager of the Old Maid office, which is the base of operations for our main cast of characters. As the 14-year-old son of the Pinochil company's CEO, and the CEO is also the right-hand man of the king. Leo wields the Seven of Diamonds with the Never No Dollars ability, allowing him to instantly swap out any amount of money physically nearby him for an object of equivalent value. I love how they play with this as well. There are scenes where you see Leo with huge stacks of suitcases near him, getting ready for a fight. I love that detail. Now, Finn Oldman is our main guy. He's the newest member of High Card, a skilled pickpocket with great eyesight and focus, which allows him to think multiple steps ahead. Now, he's trying to raise money to save the orphanage where he grew up, but he entered that orphanage with one of the coveted X-playing cards. He holds the Two of Spades with the ability Neo Nu Nambu, which summons a loaded Nambu revolver into his hand that always shoots straight, and he can summon an unlimited amount of bullets in his free hand. Apparently, his card is the weakest, though, of the 52 X-playing cards. Hey, it's how you use it. Now, Chris Redgrave, he's a womanizer, a skilled driver. He has a sweet tooth, because he has to, with his 5 of Hearts X-playing card with the power Calories High. This allows him to convert excess calories to heal injuries instantly that would otherwise prove fatal. So he's basically immortal, and he just has to eat a lot. Wendy Sato is the daughter of a master swordsman from the Far East. Now, she handles the accounting for Pinochil's Old Maid office, but when they're out on a mission, she has the Ace of Spades that summons the X-playing ability Love and Peace, a large samurai sword with a mind of its own, literally. Now, she can summon this card with the sword in the sheath, and she is Wendy, but the moment she unsees the sword, Love P takes over, and then it's a whole other ballgame. I love this little detail as well, where she can still summon her playing card and stay Wendy, but the moment she tries to use its ultimate power, well, then things get tricky. Wendy is also in the middle of an identity crisis when we meet her, so having this card that literally gives her a split personality is so interesting of a detail as well. Now, Vijay Kumar Singh is one of the few members of the main cast we haven't had a backstory on just yet. What we do know is that he's an intelligent PhD student, he is a good cook, and he manages the systems at Pinochil's Old Maid office. His aloof personality can make it hard to approach him, though, and he wields the 3 of Clubs with the power Green, allowing him to communicate with nearby plants and control them. Of course, there are other cast of characters as well, like the Klondike Mafia family, the butler, Theodore Constantine Pinochil, who is Leo's father, like I mentioned, working directly under the king himself. We don't know too many things about these characters, so I'm just gonna focus now on the world building of High Card. I love me a story with great world building. For me, this anime is like a sophisticated Archer. It's got spy/heist show vibes with all the main characters rocking expensive fancy suits, how there's action, drama, cool gadgets, and of course, gambling, but not in the conventional sense. It's a mixed bag of ideas that make sense. Like if James Bond used magic gadgets and only had one mission that he had a whole team of people to back him up on mission with. There's high stakes, Ocean's 11, Casino Royale. I love it when a plan comes together type stuff that is just so easy to love and lap up like the treat it is. Now, I mentioned earlier that the show doesn't over-explain things, and I so appreciate that. We don't get to see or hear what the cast of characters are really thinking, like at all. We are shown rather than told things, and in such a way that makes us have to think about what is happening in a scene or in the story overall. We are encouraged to piece it together ourselves. Like if a character is being deceptive or choosing to do something that goes against their established motivations or character traits, you do kind of have to be paying attention to figure out why. And they also have a business side to deal with, not just all chasing down ex-playing cards. No, their cover is an expensive card dealership where the rich come to flaunt their money and buy a nice car. So they do have to run this business still. It's not just a front. And each of our main characters have a job that they have to do at the Old Maid branch. Now, the details of each of the cards they are collecting are cool too, down to the gloves that the players wear and how the powers are used. Each are unique to the card and player, with each card being a reflection of the soul of the player. Again, Wendy, having an identity crisis. When she summons her card, it gives her a split personality should she unsheath her sword. When the cards are scattered across the kingdom, they clearly find players that suit the power of the card. Why? I don't know, magic. They are magical items. It's truly refreshing, though, to see a show stand out like this for its unique world building and magic system that has its pitfalls and limits. Like, the power of the card is only as powerful as the player themselves. A 2 is the weakest card, but in the hands of a strong player, it can be a strong card. You can also combine the cards for something called an X-hand. And in the first season, they touched on this in 2 ways already. 2 different cards and a 4 of a kind. I won't spoil what that means, though. Just go watch it for yourself. It's so cool. Finally, the style and artwork of this anime. I just love it. I love the look and feel of it. It's sexy, it's fun. It doesn't give you too much fan service, if at all. And there is so much to look at in every scene. It's not too stagnant in its scenes, which is refreshing to see. I love it when characters are doing more than just talking to each other in scenes. It just makes it feel more natural. The characters are not just nice to look at either, but the world they live in is like a European modern-day traditional yet secretive kingdom. But it's a fictional place that feels very real. Like, I want to live there. It looks nice. There's fluid animation and action, a soundtrack that complements the style and vibe of this magical semi-spy heist eclectic bag of ideas that somehow works, and well. Sometimes, when a show tries too hard to be too many things, especially in a cartoon or anime format, it can and does get complicated, messy, and overall becomes a hot dumpster fire of mismatched content that hinders the story rather than complementing it. The world building is there, the plot is there, the potential is there for this to be a really cool franchise with spice, substance, and flavor. I really like the pacing of this anime. The action is actiony when it's supposed to be, and it's not overblown or shoved in our faces at random times for the sake of excitement. The action complements the story being told. It isn't the whole story. It can be clever and funny with the action too. Like this scene when Finn meets his boss Leo for the first time after saving him from some cowardly kidnappers. Finn starts fighting the kidnappers at a restaurant off screen, while Leo and the owner of the restaurant are in frame, just being normal. It's a great way of showing rather than telling. Not every action scene is important, nor is it always highlighted, because it's not the main focus. It's a means to an end, a tool to drive the story forward. Overall, High Card, a joy to watch. I am so looking forward to Season 2 coming out early January, so I can binge the crap out of that Season 2. I'm Zarzilla, the eclectic clerk, a huge nerd geeking out over all kinds of things. So if you want to come along this journey with me, hit that subscribe button, and if you can't be good, be careful.